Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly an honor to participate in this third annual Social Justice Summit and to share with you France's commitment to advancing the Sustainable Development Goals. I would first like to thank the Social Justice Chair for inviting me. The summit is key to foster social justice in South Africa and create awareness and consciousness. As a globally respected social justice research and training hub, the SJC is a crucial player in the fight against inequalities and helps to design innovative public policy tools to achieve an equal economy. The pandemic and the unrest of last July have highlighted the urgent need for advancing social justice in South Africa, a country where income inequalities are among the highest in the world. In France too, the pandemic has reshuffled the cards and put social justice at the center of our public debates. COVID-19 has exposed our reliance on blue-collar workers that previously were often looked down on. It has also shed light on pre-existent inequalities or social fragilities. Against this background, it is even more important to deepen our understanding of economic inequalities and the underlying factors so we are better equipped to tackle them. France was from the very beginning a strong supporter of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which sets, as you know, 17 Sustainable Development Goals from the world, from eradicating poverty to protecting the planet or reducing inequalities. It was even more natural for France to support the 2030 Agenda as we have a long tradition of advancing social justice, both domestically through well-established social institutions and globally thanks to our development assistance programs. France was involved in the negotiations for the adoption of the 2030 Agenda, and it was one of the first 22 countries to present its report on the implementation of the SDGs during the High-Level Political Forum in 2016. At the national level, France has also set up a cross-departments delegate for sustainable development that is responsible for the implementation of the 17 SDGs and that coordinates a network of civil servants advocating for sustainable development. When it comes to eradicating poverty, France has a substantial track record that proves its commitment. In the last 70 years, France has developed a strong social safety net that protects its people from social risks such as illness, accidents, or family welfare, and pays then a pension in retirement. Any person residing in France is also entitled to claim a minimum income and essential services such as education, housing, and power supply. Those services take the form of welfare, supplementary benefits, and free public services. Last but not least, France is also encouraging access to culture and national heritage for all population groups, in particular with programs for young people from disadvantaged areas. As a result, poverty has been kept under control, with 13.3% of the population at risk of poverty compared to 17% in the whole European Union. Nevertheless, work remains to be done, as the Sustainable Development Goal 1 ultimate goal is to achieve no poverty at all. Moreover, France, as other developed countries, is experiencing new forms of social exclusion, such as the working poor, for which innovative public policy solutions still need to be found. Tackling economic inequalities require integrated and long-term policies. Despite new challenges caused by the fourth industrial revolution, globalization and free trade, France has been able to maintain low levels of economic inequalities thanks to an economic policy combining free markets and social policies. On the one hand, France has been able to lower its unemployment rate due to the reforms passed during the last decade that have enabled more flexibility in the labor market and lowered payroll taxes. On the other hand, France has been able to build a progressive taxation system, especially when it comes to income taxes. Income taxes redistribute wealth and finance the generous welfare state. Let me give you an example. After taxes and redistribution, the standard of living of the poorest 20% of the population has increased by 71%, while the standard of living of the richest 20% of the population is decreased by 20%. While France has been successful in keeping economic inequalities low, much work remains to be done to achieve real equal opportunities, as France's minorities still face discriminations, especially in the workplace. Moreover, at the global level, inequality among countries remain high due to unequal terms of trade. Against this background, international cooperation is key, and France needs to continue its commitment towards a fairer and more regulated globalization. France is also committed to advancing social justice and reduce inequalities globally. France renewed its pledge to scale up its official development assistance programs. In 2020, our development assistance reached 12.8 billion euros. Following our president's new pledge, it will reach 0.55% of GDP in 2022 compared with 0.37% in 2017. The overall 0.7% objective is now reachable and will be attained in 2025. Our development assistance policy has also been redefined. It now clearly focuses on crucial priorities: fight against poverty, health, climate action, education, and gender equality. We now target 19 countries, mainly in sub-Saharan Africa and Haiti, in order to concentrate financial assistance on the countries that need it the most. Last but not least, we now favor donations over loans in order to avoid putting developing countries at financial risk. This will enable us to deepen our cooperation and our links with our African partners. Cooperation is already strong, thanks to the numerous projects financed by the French Development Agency. In 2020, 4.4 billion euros were dedicated to African projects, advancing health, education and research, vocational training, agriculture, energy access, SMEs development, energy transition or biodiversity protection. Thanks to the involvement of African stakeholders, be the NGOs, companies or governments, cooperation will continue in the future to advance the 2030 Agenda and the 17 SDGs. Fulfilling the SDGs will take time. However, as we strive to recover from the pandemic and its devastating consequences, we must bear in mind that sustainable development is the only way forward, and France will keep strengthening its commitment in advancing the Sustainable Development Goals.